Kim Jong-un is greatly satisfied in his stern warning to the U.S. after experts claim he now has the capability to hit New York, Los Angeles and Chicago with nuclear missiles. The North Korean leader said Saturday the second flight test of an intercontinental ballistic missile on Friday demonstrated his country can hit the U.S. mainland. Had it been fired at a standard trajectory, it could have reached Los Angeles, Denver and Chicago and would have even had New York and Boston within its sights, according to analysts. Kim expressed great satisfaction after the Hwasong-14 missile reached a height of 2,314 miles and traveled 620 miles before accurately landing in waters off Japan. The test was aimed at confirming the maximum range and other technical aspects of the missile it says was capable of delivering a large-sized, heavy nuclear warhead. Pyongyang's continuing development of nuclear weapons is a growing cause of concern for leaders in the United States, South Korea and Japan. In a show of force against the dictator and his military, the United States and South Korea held a joint missile exercise in response. Although Kim Jong-un hasn't expressed a strong desire to attack mainland Europe, the new analysis would suggest London, Paris, Berlin and Rome are all within range, although the missiles would have to soar above land as opposed to the Pacific and negotiate the Earth's rotation. David Wright from the Union of Concerned Scientists said, based on current information, Friday's missile test by North Korea could easily reach the U.S. West Coast and a number of major U.S. cities. The ICBM was launched at a lofted trajectory, allowing it to fall in the Sea of Japan with a ground range of around 600 miles. Reports suggest the maximum altitude of the launch was 2,300 miles and that it flew for 47 minutes. Mr. Wright added, if those numbers are correct, the missile flown on a standard trajectory, the missile would have a range 10,400 kilometers, 6,500 miles. Not taking into account the Earth's rotation. However, the rotation of the Earth increases the range of missiles fired eastward, depending on their direction. It is important to keep in mind that we do not know the mass of the payload the missile carried on this test. If it was lighter than the actual warhead the missile would carry, the ranges would be shorter than those estimated above. The state-run Korean Central News Agency, KNCA, made the report of Kim's pleasure of the successful launch. North Korea launched a missile that came threateningly close to Japan on Friday night, which has prompted the country's prime minister to admonish the isolated nation. Analysts had estimated that North Korea's first ICBM on July 4 could have reached Alaska, and said that the latest missile appeared to extend that range significantly. Immediately after the launch, U.S. and South Korean forces conducted live-fire exercises. South Korean Defense Minister Song Young-moo called for the deployment of strategic U.S. military assets, which usually means stealth bombers and aircraft carriers, as well as additional launchers of an advanced U.S. anti-missile system. Meanwhile, the Japanese government spokesman Yoshihide Suga said the missile, launched late Friday night, flew for about 45 minutes, about 5 minutes longer than the first. The rocket was launched on very high trajectory, which limited the distance it traveled, and landed west of Japan's island of Hokkaido. Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe called the launch a serious and real threat to the country's security. Suga, the Japanese spokesman, said Japan has lodged a strong protest with North Korea. North Korea's repeated provocative acts absolutely cannot be accepted, he said. The French Foreign Ministry condemned the launch and called for strong and additional sanctions by the United Nations and European Union. Only maximal diplomatic pressure might bring North Korea to the negotiating table, the ministry said in a statement.